Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Wednesday, September 8th. We wanted to check in on Palantir. Now, I typically cover Palantir every Monday, but obviously we were off this Monday, and then yesterday it didn't occur to me until I was laying in bed at night of, oh, shoot, I should have covered Palantir today because we didn't have the market on Monday. And so I'm jumping in to cover it today just because I don't want to miss a week, and I do have active positions in Palantir, so it just sort of makes sense altogether. Now, a couple of things if we want to sort of get our bearings back on the chart here that we're looking at. So this is the daily chart. This is an extension level that I've been tracing, I guess we could call it. 1706, impulsive move to 2750, retracement to 2055, and this gives me a price target of $30.99, which I've shown in previous videos. That's still my price target until this falls apart. So today you see we're trying to hold support over this 50% extension level at 25.77, and at the moment dipping just below that. So, but to me this isn't sort of showing that it has flipped that to resistance yet. Now the other sort of questionable things that I have to the potential downside are, we did have this red box in here that we put in a few weeks ago, or probably when we drew this extension level, saying, you know, probably want to be cautious around this 2750 area, which is why I put a box in, because it's a little bit of a range or an area, because of the double topping out factor. And so what we saw yesterday was it got up to 2688 and then pulled back quite a bit today. Now, of course, I understand that this is in a market that's, you know, if I look here on my faves list, there's a lot of growth stocks in here, and there was a lot of red in growth today. Obviously, these aren't all growth stocks, but there are several in here. And yeah, just a bunch of red in the growth sector today. So it's not sort of an outlier in that way. But still, I think we want to keep an eye on it to see, is growth getting into a situation where it has the potential for stronger, more consistent sell-offs like we saw in like February and March, when they were across the board just getting beaten up badly week after week after week? Or is this just sort of like a slight hitch and it'll be back to trending upward again shortly? That's obviously to be seen. We do see here, and this day was down 4.43%, so that's even more than we saw today. We had a red day here down 2.99%, and so those are obviously mixed in, otherwise a general sea of green. And so that's just to say, you know, it could certainly keep moving, and this could just be a step in the stair step rising. But you know, I'm being extra aware of it because of this area of the double topping outs, because we have seen now an increase of a couple of days of selling pressure come in, not super dissimilar from what we saw here, but in this case it's growing, so I don't love that. You know, this situation is better to me. And we do see the MACD, it has rejected the bearish crossover potential a few times here, and here. It got really close and just rejected off of it. So I don't know if it has it in it again to reject off of it, but we'll have to see. It'll be pretty hard for it to hold this path like in truly an extension type way up to that $30.99 level. That's not to say like ever. That's just to say in this play, like in the timeline of this play that I'm talking about right now, which has already been happening for 6 weeks or so. This play has been in action. But it could be kind of hard for it to hold that if we do get a bearish crossover here. Now, to me, if it comes down and tests around the $25 level, I'd be okay. If it comes down too much into this region here, high to mid 24s, and start spending time there, then I'll start to be a little bit less enthusiastic that this extension level can really play out. That doesn't mean that it can't just sort of take a breath and then continue moving up. I just don't think that necessarily the extension levels as they're plotted on this Fibonacci extension would necessarily be in play anymore, which is fine. But yeah, those are the things that I'm watching. You know, was this a big push off of this double top area? Can we hold like the $25 range? Is this sell volume going to die down, or is it going to continue to increase? Are we going to get a bearish crossover here? And if so, how much of a drawdown is that going to bring? Now in the order flow today, we had a big outflow of large scale orders, 3.18%, 1.21% coming in. So it wasn't as though there was nothing to offset it, but it was a fraction. And then, you know, even medium outflow, you know, quite significantly outpacing the medium inflow. So the biggest sort of large-scale drawdown that we've seen in the last several days as well. So interested to see kind of where this takes us, but that's what I see on the chart. If we want to zoom into the daily just to see how we could have thought about this today, you know, it did make a nice move toward the end of the day here. So it came down and double bottomed here, which we see this. You go back and look at my Palantir videos from months ago. We were talking about, now this is the 1 minute chart, but at that point we were talking about the reliability at that time of the 5 minute chart throwing double bottoms and double tops and just consistently moving up after double bottoms and just consistently moving down after double tops, literally double like right next to each other. So it might be something to start looking for again in the pattern. But it sold off, got kicked off of the VWAP pretty hard here, not so dissimilar from what we saw at SoFi today actually, and then just couldn't really keep pace with the VWAP, you know, gaining distance between itself and the VWAP, and then hit this double bottom, and then started to retrace back up and was able to reclaim, and then just kind of batted itself above and below for the rest of the day. So for the last like trading hour or two, it just kind of batted itself around the VWAP. Let me get the plug. And so I don't know if that was sort of like algos just taking out a bunch of buy and sell orders or what that might have been, but you know, definitely a big increase in volume here as well toward the end of the day, not just power hour, but specifically the last like 15 to 20 minutes, we saw a big bump up. And now we're selling off a bit in the after hours, though that could end up to be nothing. But I am interested to see, do we start to come back here a little bit tomorrow, at least at open, because of the strength that we saw in the later half of the day today? I don't know, but that's what I'm going to be looking for as we head into it. But overall, I'm still in my positions. I'm still sort of willing to see if this plays out. And again, just to nail it on the head for you, my plan, I'm looking for it to hold that $25 mark. And if it can't, then I'm going to strongly question whether or not this play is still in play. And if not, then, you know, I might kind of take my profit and wait for things to settle, wait for a new setup to evolve. On the daily chart, at least, like a longer swing trade setup, and to go with that. But we'll see. You know, it's just one red day after a bunch of green days, and so that's bound to happen. So I don't want to overly emphasize just a red day, but you never know. I think overall the market and folks in the market flow strongly in and out of fear of a crash. Like fear of a crash, fear of a crash, fear of a crash, and then take on risk, take on risk, take on risk, and then okay, fear of a crash, fear of a crash. So it's this weird like undulating back and forth between those couple of extremes a lot lately. So we'll see how that plays out, but you know, in the meantime, all we can do is try to roll with the punches and see what's happening and take the setups as we see them. All right, folks, well, I hope that you had a good hump day and that you're able to finish the week strong. I'll be back with a Palantir video on Monday, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to get that. Thanks a bunch for watching, and I will see you in the next video.